Hi everyone. In this video, we'll take our discussion forward and we'll discuss another data type in Python, which is tuple. So just like list, tuple is also collection of items of different data types. So let's just write that down. Collection of items of different data types. Then you must be wondering then that how is it different from list, right? That's what basically list is. So a tuple is a read-only data type structure. So while list, you can add items to a list, you can go ahead and change the values of the existing items in the list. Tuple, on the other hand, is a read-only data structure. We cannot modify the size or the value of the items of a tuple. So it's read-only data type. It's read-only, that means you cannot modify the values of items of a tuple. You cannot add or delete items from a tuple. Now, how do we go ahead and define a tuple? To define a tuple, we enclose the items of a tuple in parentheses, these round brackets, and the items of the tuple are separated by comma. So let's go ahead and define our tuple. So we'll create a tuple and let's have different data types as well here. So let's add hi, which is a string data type. I'll add a float number as well. Let's add an integer and maybe another string. So this is our tuple. Let's assign it to a variable t. If we check the type of the variable t, it is of tuple data type. Now, how does slicing and dicing work in a tuple? So just like your list, in tuples also, we use index. Tuple indexing also starts at 0 for the first element, and then it increases by 1 for each subsequent element. So the tuple indexing also works similar to your list or your string data type. So let's take an example of this. So let's try to access this 3 here. What is the index of 3? The index of 3 is 1 because the index starts at 0. So hi gets an index of 0 and 3 here gets an index of 1. Even you have negative indexing just like your list and string data types. If I say t minus 1, it will return hello here. If let's say I want this subset of a tuple, maybe I want this value from 3 till the very end of the tuple, I can specify just like I've done in the case of list. So I'll use the index of 3 here, which is 0, 1, colon. And if you just leave it blank, that's also fine. That simply means you want to go to the end of the list. And here it is returning tuple in the output. The items it is returning is 3, 12, and hello. Now we can do concatenation operation in tuple using plus operator. Let's try it out. So I'll say t plus t. It will concatenate the two tuples. Here you have the concatenated tuple. If I do t multiplied by 3, what will then happen? It will basically give us the repetition. So this is a repetition operation. Now we have said that tuple is immutable. It's a read-only data type. We cannot go ahead and change the items, the values of the items of a tuple. So let's check that. So let's say I want to change this t here. I want to change this hi to hello probably or good morning. How do you do that? So we'll use the index and we'll make it good morning. This used to work for the in list data type. Let's see if this works for the tuple data type also or not. So for the tuple, it is returning an error. The error says tuple object does not support item assignments. And this is because the tuple is a read-only data type. So this operation of item assignment is not supported by tuple. If we check the inbuilt functions of the tuple, we just have count and index. So in the list, to add the items, we had append, extend, insert. To delete the items, we had pop, remove. But here, because it's a read-only data type, there are limited operations that we can do. So we have only two functions. One is count, another one is index. Now, count, as the name itself suggests, is basically to count the occurrences of a particular item. So let's say I want to check how many high I have in my tuple T. And I have only one high. So that's the value it is returning. Let's try index also. So it's dot, not comma. And I want to see the index of 3.0. And this is returning 1. Why 1? Because the 3 here is at index 1. So this index function returns the index of the value that you have passed. Now you must be wondering that, fine, tuple is read only, very good, but it doesn't look very different from list. Like list, it is also collection of items. In list, you have this added functionality where you can add items to a list, you can delete items, change items. So wherever I can use tuple, I can also go ahead and instead use list. So why use tuple? That's the question. Question is, why use tuple? So why use tuple? So you all know that lists are mutable. Because it is mutable, that means you can expand the size of a list. So Python needs to allocate extra memory block in case there is a need to extend the size of a list after it is created. And on the other hand, tuple is immutable or read-only data type. So because it is immutable and of fixed size, Python will allocate just the minimum memory block required for the data. This makes tuple more memory efficient. So when you know at the outset that your collection of items, your data here will not change, you're going to go for a tuple. You can go for a list, but it would not be a very efficient way to go about it because you anyways know that the items will not change in the future. So to give you an example where you would use tuple, maybe you have days of the week. Now, days of the week are 7 days in a week, and I don't see that changing in your future. So tuple would be a good bet here. So that's where you would use tuple, a very good data type, I would say. Uh, and you would find yourself using this particular data type a lot, just like list. So that is all for today's video. Thank you all for watching.